First, I will suggest let's be both not taking sides, but let's believe that we're on the same side. And we both want, all of us, a future where Israelis and Palestinians and Arabs all live peacefully in security in their homes.
Thank you so much for your time. Again, Maya, could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. So, hi, my name is Maya. I'm the Israel representative here in Taipei during the last 3 months. So I just arrived here.
Okay, so how's your life in Taiwan so far?
So it's mainly been only in Taipei because I really arrived in August with my family. I have 2 boys. We only had the chance to go to Xiaolingqiao.
小琉球, see the turtle?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay,
and to
like
scuba dive. Yes, I love that. And I already had to cancel twice my trips to Taroko.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
The east of Taiwan.
Yes, to next to Hualien.
Yeah.
But because of the situation now in Israel, I have to be here and work more. So I'm really looking forward to see much more of Taiwan.
So what is the real situation right now in Israel?
Yeah. So, you come here, you've been outside now in Taipei, and it's regular day in Taipei, right? Beautiful blue skies. Everything is open. You go to the restaurant to work. My kids go to school. But in Israel, it's war.
Yeah.
And it means that there are rockets that are being fired, about 10,000 rockets during the last month. When I'm talking to my friends and family, they are running to the shelter a few times a day. They have prepared inside the shelters food and water and supplies, whatever they need, for about 72 hours in case needed. It means that thousands of people have been recruited to go to the military. And we have more than 250,000 of people that are displaced, which means that they don't live in their houses anymore. They were moved by the Israeli government from their houses because it's very dangerous. It's near the border. And because of the dangers and war, they're now moved into other areas, safer one in Israel. There is not really schools for the children. A lot of people don't go out for work because of the situation. This is war. The effect of that is really on all of the population, on all society.
How's the economy in Israel right now? People cannot go to work, right? So I think that is very hard for family, for kids, even for your friend and family, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're very correct. People, some of them don't go to work, but we learned during COVID to work from the house remotely. Some people don't go to work because they're drafted to the military, and then the others work much harder, much more intensive. We know from the past, Israel is very used to these rounds of violence and conflict. So we're very trained and accustomed how to run our country, our economy, during crisis like this. And we're very resilient, which means that we adapt quickly. We are very agile. It means that we move and change what is necessary to make sure that our companies continue to work. And we have, for some example, we have people from high-tech that have been drafted to the military, and they continue to have business meetings on Zoom while they're in the military service. So they try to fight both things together for their financial safety and for the future and for the Israel survival.
How is the world viewing the war right now?
Okay. So first, I will suggest let's be both not taking sides, but let's believe that we're on the same side. And we both want, all of us, a future where Israelis and Palestinians and Arabs all live peacefully in security in their homes. I think that the majority of us, this is what we want. And it's important to say, because Israel is not fighting the Palestinians.
It's fighting the Hamas.
Hamas. And there is a difference. I will try to say like this. If I'm a foreigner and you want to explain to me what's the relationship between Taiwan and China, it will be
very complicated.
Exactly.
Yeah, very complicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I will say the same. Like, don't expect to understand exactly what is happening in the Middle East if you're not in the local from the Middle East. So it's sometimes we tend to say this is right, this is wrong, this is black, this is white, but life is more complex than that. And in the Middle East, there is a very deep sense of religion.
Yeah.
Okay, there are Muslims, there are Jews, there are Christians. This is the Holy Land for 3 religions. And there's fighting about that. There is disagreement about land. There is disagreement about water. There is disagreement about historical. There are a lot of things that we need to discuss between Israel and Palestinians. But this war is not with the Palestinians. It is with a minority of extreme Islamic movement. This is Hamas. In the past, we had it as ISIS. We had it, we know it from other countries where the US was fighting and there was a world coalition against terror. And this is what we're saying now. It's the same ideology. It's a very extreme one. And it's extreme one because it's calling for 3 things. Okay? 1, it's calling for all Muslims to kill down all Jews. So this is not only Israel in the Middle East. This is all around the world globally. Muslims against Jews. This is why it's extreme. The second, because it's called for the elimination of the state of Israel. It's not open for negotiations. It is not a pragmatic body, but they want Israel to be totally disappear. They don't recognize our rights. And this is important to know because you cannot talk to somebody that wants to kill you. And the third thing is that what they want to have is as Islamic state. An Islamic state means that everything that you and I believe, because we are modern, liberal democracies, and we have freedom of speech. This is why we're talking right now. Yeah. We have women's rights. We have minorities' rights. We have LGBTQ rights. Yeah. And all of these freedoms, Islamic State does not have. They will punish gay and lesbians. They will have no freedom of religion because it's only Muslim. Yeah. They will have no freedom of thought or freedom of speech because if you're their opponent, they will throw you out from the roof and kill you. So this is why this is a big war that is between, not only between Israel, it's between ideas, ideology, between ideology that want to improve for the future and ideology that wants to go back to medieval times, to Islamic rule. And I think it will have to be the end for Hamas. I think this is what this war is all about. Yeah. This war is really to make sure that Hamas is not able to threaten Israel's security anymore. Yeah. You know, when we were attacked on October 7th, Hamas terrorists entered the territory of Israel. Think about, people come here to Taiwan, to Kaohsiung. They murder people, they kidnap people, taking 240 people from their houses. Saturday morning. It happened on Saturday morning. What do you do Saturday morning? 6:30 a.m.
Just relax.
At home, sleep maybe. If you, Saturday morning, you sleep late. Yeah. You go out for a stroll with your dog. You know, it's quiet time. This is the time when they attacked. And they attacked inside the territory and communities and houses of Israelis. And they took them and they murdered them. So we had no other choice but to go to war. And this is what we are aiming to have, that we will not have any more threat from Hamas. So for them, this will be the peak, it will be the end. They will not be able to threaten us anymore. We can't go back to the same status quo that we had before, that we maintained that, and every few months we had a round of violence. We can't go back to that. So when people ask me, but stop firing on Gaza or have a ceasefire, everybody wants a ceasefire and have peace and negotiate, I said yes, but not now. It's very important, but the timing is not correct for now. If we stop now, Hamas still have capabilities. We have to make sure that they don't longer have the ability to rule Gaza. And then we can start talking about peace. But then we will speak with Palestinians and with our neighbors, but not with Hamas. Hamas is a terror organization. We have no negotiations with terror.
Do you feel safe in Taiwan, even though there might also a threat from China?
I feel very safe here. We have a lot of similarities between Israel and Taiwan. We have ancient civilization. We have similar ideas in our culture. We are both liberals and democracies, and families very important to us. So we have a lot of similarities, but there is also many differences. And I think that the situation that we have in the Middle East is very different than what you're having here with China. We're coming from very similar origin. And I think that both sides are willing to talk to each other. And this is very important because I've been kept on saying, Hamas, when they were established, they wrote this in 1988 in their charter, kill all Jews, eliminate the state of Israel. So there is no open for any discussion. There is no conversation with them. And this is a big difference. So yes, I feel very safe here. I think that you have a bright future.
Does Taiwan or does Taiwanese people need to learn from this conflict?
There are many lessons that Taiwan, Israel foremost, and other countries can learn from, definitely. But one, it's too early for us even to know now all the lessons. We are still in the middle of the fighting. We are still mourning people, going to funerals. We still have people wounded in the hospital. We are still under daily attacks. And we're still fighting in Gaza and on the northern border with Hezbollah and with Lebanon. So it's too early to know all the lessons. We will be able to share that in the future. But the one thing I can tell you already now is that I think that always we need to try and avoid war. War is a bad thing. There is nothing good about war. Me as a diplomat, my job is to talk. My job is to negotiate. When there is war, it means that I failed. I didn't do my work good enough to prevent war. And we always want to come back into talking to each other. So this is very important. Having peace is always something that we aspire to. Israel, back in the 70s, we have a peace agreement with Egypt. We gave land. We gave land back more than 2/3 the size bigger than Israel because the land was not important. The peace was important. We had peace with Jordan. In the last 3 years, we had peace Abraham Accords with the UAE, with Bahrain, with Morocco, with Sudan. We were on the verge of having peace with Saudi Arabia. This is what is important, to have peace and to have people-to-people connections. So we will aim for that, to achieve that.
How many Israeli people are living in Taiwan right now?
Very few. I'm actually trying to get the exact number, but I will probably say less than 100. Very few.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least I know one.
Exactly.
Now two. Now two. Right.
Yes.
What is your role during this, difficult time as a representative of Israel in Taiwan?
I feel I have very important role. One is to get the people to know, Taiwan and Israel are very far away physically.
Very far away.
Right? Yeah. And I think that it took a long time for people to understand and to get the information correctly. And even now, this is hard. It's difficult to understand Hamas, Palestinian, peace, who bombs. So I'm trying, first of all, to get the correct information. This is very important. And the media is having a very important role on this. So thank you for bringing me here and giving me the opportunity. The second, I want people to care and to do something. Because what happened on October 7th, the day that the Israel-Hamas War started, is something that broke all the rules. We have rules between us, civilized societies and democracies, there's rules. It calls rules of armed conflict. It means that even when we fight in a war, we agree on some things that are good and some things that are red line. You don't do them. Mm-hmm. For example, you're allowed to kill soldiers. This is fine in war. Also, you're allowed to take soldiers as prisoners of war. So I can take your soldiers, you can take mine soldiers, okay? But we also agree that civilians, we protect them. Mm. And what happened on October 7th is that Hamas, not only he didn't protect civilians, he deliberately attacked civilians. Mm. And on this is very important that people will say, no, this is not okay. Mm. This is not allowed, because if Hamas can do that and attack civilians and people will not say anything, it means it's okay. It means that it's fine. Yeah. And then it happens in Israel, and the next time it will happen here in Taiwan.
Everywhere.
Or everywhere in another country. So we need to speak up and to say this is wrong. Mm. And this is wrong, and we have now, Israel, 241 people. Mm. And this is that, 241 people held by Hamas in Gaza. They have 35 children that they hold in Gaza. So I think that my most important job is to really call for all the help that we can get, all the pressure that we can put on Hamas to release the people and bring them back home. This is very important. And then the third thing that I will do is to really try get the support here of communities, of cities, of people to help rebuild Israel. Israel has been severely damaged. 10,000 rockets were falling on our villages and cities. Mm-hmm. So we need to bring people back into living normal life, safe life, the children, the families. This is very important, especially the villages that were directly attacked on October 7th massacre. So we're really calling, adopt a village. This is the initiative. It means that let's concentrate on one village and put a special Taiwan-Israel relation to it. And we're doing this in cooperation with the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our side to really bring all the donations and all the assistance of people here in Taiwan to help this one village that was damaged.
Do you have any message you could send to the Taiwanese audience?
So one, I will say, speak up. There's really, I think, a need to understand that this war is closer to home maybe than it seems. It's not only between Israel and Hamas. This is really between ideologies of liberal democratic societies and ideology that is very extreme Islamistic, old ones. And I want to emphasize there are 2 billion Muslims in the world. You have also Muslim community here in Taiwan. Yes. And most of the people, the Muslims, are peace-loving people. They're tolerant, they're pragmatic, they want to live happy and, peaceful life, and they take care of their children. This is really a minority, an extreme minority. And this is why we all need to speak up and stand close together to make sure that they do not rule the world, this extreme minority.
Could you speak your own language, which is Hebrew, right?
Yes.
And send a message to all the Israeli people, not only in Taiwan and overseas Israelis?
Sure. So I will say, Am Israel Chai.